Now that that's out of the way, let's play on the Virtual Console instead. Super Mario 64. This game needs no introduction. After the release of Super Mario World, Mario was a little shy on main games. Though there were plenty of spin-off games, such as Yoshi's Island and Super Mario Kart, but we wouldn't get a full Mario platformer until Super Mario 64. Released in 1996 for Nintendo 64.
Wow, that was 20 years ago! Man, I'm old.
But anyway, Super Mario 64 won on the sale of over 11 million copies for the system, and it's been stated that what Super Mario Bros. Did for 2D platformers, Super Mario 64 did for 3D platformers. Though technically not the first, it defined the genre. Mario was just on a roll that time. Now why is it called Super Mario 64? No, not because it's the 64th Mario game. That was the Nintendo 64's gimmick of putting 64 in every title. Much like how they called the second Mario Kart 64, but starting with 7 they began numbering them. Which makes me wonder what they're going to do if they ever get to the 64th Mario Kart. So how did Mario pull off the 2D to 3D jump? Well, let's take a look.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
Mario, now voiced by Charles Martinet, who's been the voice of Mario for over 20 years. Though this isn't the first time he voiced Mario, that was Mario's Fundamentals. There's been several other portrayals of Mario over the years, the late Captain Lou Albano from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and the late Bob Hoskins from the movie. But Martinet's performance is perhaps the one most engraved in my mind as the voice of Mario. I can't imagine anyone else in the role.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
This opening is a great way to pull you in. You're treated to the sight of Princess Peach's castle in full 3D, and then finally pulling in for the reveal of the one and only Mario. Overall, a flawless introduction. So let's start off with the control. Since this was on the Nintendo 64, this is the first time Mario controlled with an analog stick. Yeah, that was a pretty innovative idea back in 1996, so much so that the Sony PlayStation pretty much copied it, even though a lot of the early PS1 games didn't have the analog stick function built in like we saw in Metal Gear Solid. But I'm getting ahead of myself. With the new movement, Mario has plenty of new tricks up his sleeve. He can do a somersault, a backflip, he can even perform a 1-2 kick punch combo if you don't feel like jumping on enemies. He can also crouch and crawl, though he can do a breakdance kick, which has no practical use, but it is amusing to watch Mario dance. Pressing the crouch button and jumping, Mario will do a long jump. This is a great way to cover long distances. Mario can also dive forward while in the air. Mario can also wall kick, which is needed for a couple of stars. It is very easy to get used to. Jumping into the air, Mario can do a ground pound, and this is good for taking out enemies such as swamps. The story. Bowser has kidnapped Princess Peach yet again. Well, of course he has. This time he's imprisoned everyone inside the castle walls because I guess he's sick like that. Anyway, this time around, Mario must enter worlds through paintings, with Peach's castle serving as the hub world. Now, I don't mind Peach's castle. It gets the job done, as it's spacious, and I can get to where I want very quickly. The levels themselves are more open and encourage exploration. This time around, your goals are to get the stars in each course. Before you begin the level, the game will tell you what star you need to get. But you can completely ignore the star you've been assigned to and just go get any star you want. I like this, and it's very easy to get to where you're going. I wouldn't mind seeing this kind of level design make a return for future Mario games. Although this kind of gameplay has fallen into the Zelda games. Bob-omb Battlefield essentially serves as the opening of the game, so this level is very welcome to new players. You get your variety of locations and levels, you get your various underwater levels, which gets a little tedious, but Mario controls fun underwater. You also got your snow levels, and I really do like this one here. I love doing the slide, even if its control is a little slippery. The stars essentially serve as ways to unlock the later levels, which encourage you to play these levels in any order you're choosing. Open-ended and non-linear, that's how I like it. Mario's abilities lend themselves well to the layout of the levels. Many a time you can do a somersault or a backflip to get ahead of certain levels. As you get to later levels, such as Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Ride, you'll find more bottomless pits, which makes things more challenging. It's here that I've noticed that Mario 64's platforming has aged a bit. Many a time your jumps can be so precise, you'll end up missing it. This has a lot to do with Mario 64's camera controls. You control the camera using the C-stick buttons. You can zoom in and use the close-up camera for whatever angle you need to use. Casting the Laikutu brothers as a cameraman was an amusing little touch, and the part where you see yourself in the mirror with Laikutu following you is a nice little touch. But the camera has definitely aged, as it leads to some very cheap deaths. This time around, Mario is sporting a health meter instead of the classic get a mushroom to take an extra hit. And don't get me wrong, I rather like this edition as it's easy to fill up your life bar with coins or just by breathing air. Who knew? The stars in the levels are easy enough to collect. There are 15 worlds with a total of 6 stars with different objectives, but as I said, you can get any star you wish. But then there's the 7th star, the 100 coin star. Oh lord, I hate these missions. These missions do encourage you to explore the level, but some levels only contain just enough coins to get by. And there's nothing worse than dying, getting booted out of the painting, and having to start that agonizing process of gathering all 100 coins all over again. And you have to be real careful as to where to get them. I even had to specifically avoid getting all the coins in the slide, or lest I'd be faced with the impossible task of getting a star on the slide. Super Mario 64 doesn't really have a checkpoint system except for some of the later levels, such as the volcano. This normally isn't too much of a problem, as it's easy to get back to where you were when you died. There are also hidden stars and secret levels, which usually consist of getting 8 red coins, so there's not really a whole lot to say about them. There aren't any power-ups this time around. This time Mario has cats which give him different abilities, and they are very situational. There's the wing cap, which allows Mario to glide for several minutes. The metal cap, which turns Mario metal. This one actually managed to become popular enough for Metal Mario to become his own character in spin-off games. Then there's the Vanishing Cap, which turns Mario invisible for several minutes. These caps are needed to get some of the stars, but they don't serve as an extension of Mario's abilities, so I definitely prefer the 2D games in this regard. Then there's the bosses, and pretty much all of them are really easy, such as King Bob-omb, who serves as your warm-up boss, Womp King, who serves as the boss of Womp's Fortress, although his little speech is pretty memorable, Big Boo, who is the precursor to King Boo from Luigi's Mansion, and finally Bowser, although this has got to be the worst looking version of the Koopa King I've ever seen. The face, it just looks swollen. And you have to fight him 3 times, and it always consists of throwing him into bombs all 3 times. So there's really not much strategy to fighting him. So with that, Mario defeats Bowser and frees Princess Peach from the walls, and you're treated to a short but sweet cutscene of Mario receiving a hero's kiss.
Stars is restored to the castle. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
After getting all 120 stars, you can get to the roof of Peach's castle. There you'll find Yoshi, who looks surprisingly huge, who gives you a congratulatory message from the game's developers and grants you 100 lives and a new jump following which he commits suicide. The hell? You could have at least let me ride you. Wait a minute, there's something I've been forgetting. What about Luigi? He's not in this game. I remember full well. It was one of the first video game cheats I remember. Every website had some kind of screenshot and some kind of code that proved Luigi was in the game. But the truth is, no, there was no Luigi. He was planned to appear in the game, but they couldn't include both him and the elaborate level designs they wanted. But it became enough of a demand that he was put in the DS remake, which I'll cover some other time.
So that was Super Mario 64. All in all, it defined 3D platforming. Though it has aged, the level design is still spectacular, and the controls are, well, good for their time, if a bit dated. But now it's time to move on to the Nintendo GameCube. Join me next time for Super Mario Sunshine, a game that I have some bitter memories towards. Thanks for watching and take care.
Thank you so much for playing my game.